Good morning, everybody. This morning's proceedings will be transmitted, but only after a 10-minute delay has elapsed. There is very likely to be a private hearing which will not be transmitted. That will occur later on in the course of the morning. Those with mobile devices may use them to say what they have heard in the hearing room, but only after 10 minutes has elapsed since the event that they're describing. They may not be used for recording or photography. Mr. Barr.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Soracchi, before we move forward in the chronology, there are a number of matters I just want to revisit briefly. The first of those is the evidence you gave, I think on Monday, about HN9. I'll let you refresh your memory.
Sir.
Visiting your wife.
Sir.
You said in evidence that she kept, that HN9 kept attending. Can you help us with how many times HN9 attended your home to speak to your then wife?
From memory, sir, it was definitely at least twice or three times. That's what I can recall. She would be better able to obviously assist, but I think it was at least two or three times because it was on the third occasion that she actually said, "I've had enough of this."
Can you help us with why HN9 kept attending?
I don't know. She seemed to think he was concerned about my welfare, but again, she said it was just odd because he never completely opened up to her. That's what was said to me.
From your dealings with HN9,
yeah,
are you able to assist us as to what prompted HN9's interest in visiting your wife?
Not really, sir. We did have discussions. He was not my cover sergeant. As I say, I knew him from previous postings. I just thought he was concerned for our welfare.
Can I move now to your witness statement 35550, page 99, please. Paragraph 211.3. This is about the period of time when you are living with HN77, but you have formed a relationship with Donna McLean, but you have yet to move in with Donna McLean. And you said in your witness statement, HN77 may have been aware of your relationship with Donna McLean, as it may have come up in conversation when she visited.
Yes.
Can you help us with the basis for you saying that it might have come up in conversation?
All I can really contribute to that, we would regularly talk about what we were doing, what we were up to, and that's why I would have said that in my statement, because I couldn't remember if I had or had not mentioned it to her.
Did Donna McLean stay the night at the flat you were sharing with HN77 on any occasion?
No.
Are you sure about that?
As sure as I can be, sir, yes.
Can we take that down now? Can we move to the question of the financial arrangements? First of all, when you stayed at Mr. Headley's house. Mr. Headley's evidence is that you didn't give him any money. Is that true?
I can't remember if I did or didn't, sir. I don't think that was a part of the arrangement. I don't have any recollection of that.
He was just doing you a favour?
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember anything about that, handing over money or anything like that.
Were your managers aware that that was the arrangement?
I can't remember, sir. Sorry.
Is it something they would have asked about?
I would have thought so, yes.
Were you claiming any money for accommodation during this period?
I can't remember, sir.
Might you have been claiming money for accommodation whilst not paying Mr. Headley anything?
I don't think so, sir, no.
Can we move on now to Mr. Batty's home? We have a document which we'll call up. It's 527068. Page 10. If we expand that, thank you. Give you a moment to look at it.
Sir.
It's a receipt from Mr. Batty for a deposit you've paid him, isn't it?
Yes.
£490 for a month's deposit.
Yes.
We haven't got any documents to prove payment of monthly rent there afterwards. But did you pay Mr. Batty £490 per month thereafter whilst you were staying at his flat?
I could not assist with regards to the amount. I think there was an arrangement in place through bank direct debit standing order, but I can't remember for sure, sir.
Can you recall whether you were paying Mr. Batty or you were paying the Corporation of London direct?
I don't think I was paying the Corporation of London. That doesn't ring a bell. I think it would have been more likely that I was paying Mr. Batty, but again, as I say, I can't really remember.
Were your managers aware that you were paying £490 per month rent to Mr. Batty?
I think they would have been, yes, but...
What audit trail was there of the public money being spent in this way?
I think that would have been bank statements. I don't think there was anything else, but I think that would have been bank statements, but as I say, I can't remember.
Can we take that down now, please? Back to the trip to Bologna with Donna McLean.
Sir.
What did you tell Detective Sergeant Beales about the purpose of that trip?
I can't remember precisely, but it would have been something to do with obviously doing the trip for legend building purposes and such like.
What I'd like to know is, were you fully frank and forthcoming
No, sir.
with Detective Sergeant Beales?
No, sir.
Can we move now in time many years forward from your deployment to the interview with officers from Operation Hearn between the 12th and 14th of August 2013? It's volume 2, sir, tab B 107, 726931. This is the first of 3 documents which record this meeting. This is the handwritten note made by DC Hannigan Baptiste. Can we go to page 8 first of all? At the bottom of page 8 there is a section entitled Sexual Relationships. And the officer has recorded, never involved with anarchist women when and the word has been crossed out, when marriage was going wrong, had relationships with women unconnected, told wife. Mm-hmm. Is this the level of detail that you went into the subject with these officers?
Yes, sir. As I say, the way this meeting was portrayed to me was we need to get a overview and picture of your operation to work out where there are risks for you, your family, and obviously the organisation. As I say, yeah, they just scribbled, as we can see there.
Did you give them names?
I can't remember, sir, I'm sorry.
Were you referring here to Lindsay and Donna McLean?
I think I would have been, yes.
To say that they were unconnected was untrue, wasn't it?
Again, I can't remember exactly what I said to them. It was untrue, but as I say, maybe that was misinterpreted. I don't know, sir. I can't remember this.
It was also untrue because there were the first relationship with Donna McLean happened on your evidence to us before your marriage was going wrong.
Yes, sir. My marriage was going wrong for a number of years, but yes.
Can we go to page 9 near the bottom, please? There's a paragraph, thank you. Mark was mentioned by Headley. Headley never once mentioned a relationship that Mark J. had. Judy Beshan could have been with Peter Francis, told Steve Tiddy, who said, oh yeah, that's Pete's bird,
yeah.
Was seen at a party. Mm-hmm. Can you help us with the basis for your telling Operation Hearn that Judy Beshan could have been with Peter Francis?
Yes, sir. I mean, obviously they were asking me about other field officers and what I knew about relationships. As I say, Mr. Headley came up because of Mark, and I hadn't heard anything along those lines. So I sort of passed that across to them. The other thing relating to Peter Francis and Judy Beshan, this would have been quite early on in my deployment. There was some sort of conversation, as used to happen regularly, where we would sort of get together in a room and we'd just be chatting. And that was what DS Tiddy said. While we were talking, I was just telling him who I had met and within the Socialist Party, and it just came out like that.
Had you seen Mr. Francis together with Judy Beshan at a party?
No, sir. We were not deployed at the same time.
What was the reference to was seen at a party about then?
It may be that I had been at, I think, possibly the same social gathering. That's what I take from that, sir. Certainly, I never saw Mr. Francis whilst I was deployed out.
Do you know whether or not Mr. Francis had any form of sexual relationship with Ms. Beshan?
I'm afraid I don't. That was the only gossip I ever, and it was gossip that I ever heard. Both
Ms. Beshan and Mr. Francis deny that there was any sexual relationship between them. Your disclosure to Operation Hearn set a hair running. Ms. Beshan's name appears in documents thereafter. Were you clear with Operation Hearn that this was pure gossip?
Yes, I believe I was. As I say, it was explained in that I'd been to a meeting and that this had come up. They were asking me the question. I was not volunteering any of this.
Did they explore with you the basis for Sergeant Tiddy saying, "Oh yeah, that's Pete's bird"?
No. There was scribbling and that was it.
Did you discuss with Sergeant Tiddy what he meant by, "Oh yeah, that's Pete's bird"?
No, because again, at that time, the person he was describing had no real influence on what I was trying to achieve. So I just, as I say, mentioned the names. It wasn't just Judy Beeshan I mentioned, it would have been other full-timers that I'd met. And as I say, DS Tiddy would just come back with comments.
What was Sergeant Tiddy's demeanour when he said to you, "Oh yeah, that's Pete's bird"?
He was just replying to what I had said, responding to what I'd said. There was nothing that stood out.
Did you understand him to be conveying to you that Mr. Francis had had a sexual connection with Miss Beeshan?
Yeah, from what he said, that for me would have inferred something like that, yes.
And would I be understanding your evidence correctly about his demeanour, that he seemed entirely unconcerned about that?
Matter of fact is how I would describe it.
Could we have that document taken down now, please? Can we have up 738088? This is the second, if we move, the second set of notes by the second officer about the same meetings. Could we go to page 13, please? The section that starts, "saw a lot of offences."
Yep.
Saw a lot of offences, did best to stay the right side, witness ×2 GBHs, reported them. What were the 2 GBHs that you were referring to?
Well, on one occasion, following, I think, it was in East London, it was in the Stratford area. We had been out, I think, trying to protest and disrupt the British National Party, who were council elections or something like that. Following that, we were in a pub in Stratford, which years later I ended up being posted there, and I was able to identify it. I think it was called the Elbow Room. It was a very small pub, and there had been some kind of altercation, and I witnessed a male, I think he was wearing a football shirt of some description. People still smoked back then. I witnessed one of my associates pick up a glass ashtray and swing it and strike him across the front of the face with it. Obviously, that individual, his face wasn't too brilliant. He went down. There was then, how do I best describe it, a melee. There was people pushing, shoving, screaming, and we left and cleared the area very quickly. That's definitely the one that stays with me. The other GBH, there were assaults that I did witness, but I'm not sure which one that would refer to. But certainly that first one is the one that always sticks in my mind.
What was a catalyst for that attack?
I don't know. I as I say, it just happened in front of me, and it involved one of my associates.
Did it have anything to do with politics?
Afterwards, when it was discussed, that was one of the reasons given, but I don't know.
When you say that was one of the reasons given, can you expand upon that?
Well, there was obviously a bit of a chat afterwards where people were like, what the hell happened there? And as I say, it came out that the male in the football shirt was some kind of, or had presented as some kind of right-wing type, and there had been words and discussion had between a couple of my associates, and that had then resulted in what took place, in the ashtray being used.
Was the assailant Mario?
Yes.
And a spontaneous act of violence?
Yes, it did look spontaneous to me. There was a run-up to it, but it was very quick.
Had good reasons why never took anything stronger than cannabis. Can you help us with your taking of cannabis? How frequently did you smoke cannabis whilst you were undercover?
Very infrequently. It was done if I was in company and people offered me a puff, I would take a puff. I was not a big smoker at that time. I went into the undercover deployment as a non-smoker. Again, when we had discussed things with our back office, they said that would be acceptable, but you had to have sort of reasons why other sort of stronger recreational drugs were a no-no.
Were your managers aware that you were taking cannabis?
Yes, I would have let them know. Yes, definitely.
What was their response?
Again, so long as it was not a regular habit, if it was in line with fitting in, then that was acceptable.
Did they take any steps to monitor the effect on your health or well-being of taking cannabis?
No, sir.
Could we go to page 17, please? At the bottom of 17 is a section on sexual relationships. Involved, no. Towards end, marriage failing. 2 women, not to do with group or operational deployment. Mm-hmm. Does that accurately record, in summary terms, what you told the officers?
I think so. I can't remember, obviously, exactly what I said to the officers, but in my mind at that time, I did not realise that there was such a strong connection between the 2 women and the Socialist Party. And I think that's, obviously, the officer has written it down that way. But, yeah, I can't really add more than that, I'm afraid.
We know you were deployed between 2000 and 2006.
Yes, sir.
And your evidence to the inquiry has been that your marriage started to fail in 2002. That's not towards the end of your deployment, is it?
No.
And we know from your evidence, on your evidence, that your relationship with Lindsay started before your marriage was failing. You told me your marriage was okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So this account is inaccurate in that respect.
Yes.
There were 3 women, not 2.
Yes, they were asking me about people that were around my target groups.
They were asking about sexual relationships, weren't they?
Yes. Around with women involved with my target
Well,
groups.
here you're trying to say there were women who were not to do with your target group.
No, because as I said, I did not at that time consider that there was any serious involvement.
There were 3 women, weren't there? And you're only making a disclosure about 2, aren't you?
Well, I think I might have said that I had a current partner that I'd met when I was deployed, but I don't think I said more than that.
You knew full well that Lindsay was an associate of the group that you were infiltrating because you met her through them, didn't you?
Yes, indeed.
And you knew full well that Donna McLean had connections to those that you were infiltrating, didn't you?
Yes, indeed.
You were simply lying to the Herne officers, weren't you?
No, sir.
Minimising the reality.
No, sir, because both Lindsay and Donna McLean, when I first met them, were not active members. I knew there was some sort of connection there, but as I say, I did not know that they were, for want of a better word, card-carrying members. They didn't attend meetings. I didn't see them on actions or things like that. So it didn't really come into my head. And at that time, this is what I would have said. My partner, I didn't mention her. She'd never had any connection other than to know a few individuals in that world.
Can we go to page 21, please? At the bottom of the page, could we have the text from, thank you. Where is lived well, ways to manage approach by not being so well groomed, etc. It goes, people will make allegations. They don't live by our morals. Stuff I've read, I don't believe. Which morals were you referring to there?
I'm sorry, sir, I've got no idea what they're going on about there.
There's morals in relation to sexual conduct.
I can't help you, sir, I've got no idea.
Can you help us with what the level of reaction and support was from the Socialist Party activists you were mingling with when you told them that your mother was dying?
I would say they were incredibly kind and caring towards me.
Do you wish to retract from this statement the suggestion, any slur on the morals of the people you were infiltrating?
I don't wish to retract it, sir, because I don't recognise this. I'm not sure how the officer has made... It doesn't make sense to me, sir. As I say, when my mother died, these people were incredibly kind to me and did what they could to help.
Do you cast aspersions on the morals of those you were mixing with undercover?
I don't think so, sir. I think I spoke about how we lived our lives, etc., and how things went about. But as I say, that makes no sense to me, really.
Can we go to page 30, please? Can we have the section towards the bottom under the heading de Menezes? De Menezes. Question came up in a meeting. CS not deployed. Mike Dell made clear you do not go anywhere near that.
Yep.
We went through your reporting. There were a number of references, weren't there, in your reporting to the de Menezes
Yes,
campaign and Socialist Party contact with the de Menezes family. Can you help us with, on the face of it, the contradiction between your reporting and Dell's instruction not to go anywhere near that?
All I can think, sir, or say, I'm not sure when my reporting went in, and I'm not sure when Mr. Dell would have said this, but as I say, or as I said yesterday, I reported back things that I heard. I don't know when Mr. Dell said this to us, if it was before or after.
Can you help us at all to locate in time when DCI Dell set out this prohibition?
No, I can't, sir, I'm sorry.
Can you help us with the terms of the prohibition? Did he expand upon you do not go anywhere near that?
I can't exactly, because this wouldn't have been a big thing for me. I think it may have been some kind of reference towards getting involved in any kind of justice campaign, but that's me sort of in a bit of supposition, really. I can't add more than that.
Can I take it that you cannot recall any reasoning given by DCI Dell at the time?
No. I think this was said in a general meeting when we had our sort of weekly team meetings. I don't think it was individually said to me, but again, sir, I'm sort of surmising, really.
Could you go to page 34, please? About a third of the way down, if we could have perhaps the first 40% of the page up, please. Thank you. This is about violence. I was probably a bit of a scaredy cat, never enjoyed the feeling of confrontation, hit them until they stopped moving or run away. It used to scare me. Can you help us with what is recorded in quotations as hit them until they stop moving or run away? Did you use that phrase to the Herne officers?
I've got no idea. Sorry.
You would expect them not to have written it down unless you did.
Absolutely, but I have no idea what that's about.
Did you ever witness anybody hitting someone until they stopped moving?
No.
And certainly we've been through your evidence and you've not described anything of that level of severity. Were you trying to exaggerate to the Herne officers the level of physical confrontation in your deployment?
I don't think so, sir, but again, I'm not sure of why that was written that way. I'm not sure what we were even... Obviously, we would have been talking about assaults and things, but I don't know. Honest answer.
Did anyone talk about hitting political opponents until they stopped moving?
Not that I can recall, no, sir.
On the face of it, this would appear to be an exaggeration.
Entirely? Yeah.
Can we take that down, please? Can we go now to tab B 110, 726 495, please? Go to the next page. Thank you. This is a document that was disclosed in the course of disciplinary proceedings. It's a record of interviews with Operation Herne officers in the next year, in 2014.
Yes, sir.
About 6 months later, February 14. Do you recall meeting officers again in February 14?
Vaguely, yes. I had a number of meetings in those years.
Can you help us at all? I'm asking you this because yesterday you said that the 2013 meeting was a very cosy affair. Can you help us with the setting for this 2014 meeting?
If this is the one that I'm thinking about, this would have taken place, I think it was, I remember going to Putney tube station, so would have been around there, could have been one of the police officers around there. And again, this meeting was basically presented to me as fact-finding, informal chat. There were definitely 2 officers present, if not 3, and we were just sat in a sort of semicircle with me there and just talking.
Regardless of the lack of formality, would you accept that you would have understood this was a serious business?
Yes, sir, of course, but at the same time, we were still, and I was told, we just need to have a chat with you. We need you to come along and just talk us about talk to us about your role and the deployment. And I went there under that.
And that you would need to tell the truth?
Yeah.
Can we look at some of the detail? Let's start with the first paragraph. Asked about the relationship with a woman he met in a pub. Why was the meeting about a woman you met in a pub?
I don't know, sir. I think they would have asked me about relationships.
No, I was not in my SDS role when I had a relationship, but I used my SDS work as an excuse to go out. That's not true of any of the 3 sexual relationships that you've told us that you initiated undercover, is it?
No, I can't. As I say, reading that, no.
Was this a pure fabrication to Operation Hearn, or was there another woman?
There was not another woman, as you say, you're talking about the 3 women, but I can't really give more information than that because I don't really remember.
So can I take it was a pure fabrication on your part?
Yeah, I guess. We spoke about stuff and I just, again, they just did lots of scribbling of notes.
If we move down to the second paragraph, my marriage was pretty much dead. We grew apart, we tried counselling, but it didn't work. When things started to go wrong with my marriage, I went out. I never took anyone back to my duff flat. Let's start with when things started to go wrong with my marriage, I went out. As we've been through, you've told us that your marriage was okay when you started the relationship with Lindsay. Were you lying to us or were you lying to Hearn?
I didn't think I was lying to anybody, sir, but as I say, we were discussing these things. This was something that they asked me questions about and I responded.
Is it true your marriage was okay when you started to go out with Lindsay, as you told us earlier this week?
Oh, yeah, I think it was.
In that case, it follows, doesn't it, that what you said to Hearn, to the effect that you only started to go out once things went wrong with your marriage, was false?
Yes.
And then the sentence, I never took anyone back to my duff flat. We've heard evidence that Lindsay did come back to your flat. So that was a falsehood as well, wasn't it?
The reason for that I can't say, but yes, it was a falsehood.
Can we go, if we can zoom out, I want to look at the fourth paragraph, the large paragraph in the middle of the page. I met this girl out in the pub one night. It was a chance meeting. It was late 2004-05. She thought I was a cook, as that was my weary job. I used my SDS legend in that relationship. She knew me in my legend. I didn't deviate from my SDS role. She didn't know I was a police officer. Even my current partner didn't know I was a police officer for 6 months. It was a casual arrangement, not so much a relationship, which lasted 6 to 8 months. We would phone each other, meet up, and you know, it was casual. It was an escape. Who is this a reference to?
I think it would have been Lindsay, but the dates don't indicate that. But
the date would be out by a good 3 years, wouldn't it, for Lindsay?
Yes, sir.
And it paints a picture again of things going wrong at the end of your deployment, when the truth was, on the sexual front, things went wrong at a relatively early stage.
Yes, sir. Obviously, I've said that, but the dates don't fit but I didn't. Well, I don't know if I said those dates or not. So,
And if it was Lindsay you were referring to, then portraying it as a casual arrangement was seriously downplaying the relationship that you had had with Lindsay, didn't it?
yes.
Can we go to the next paragraph, please? I didn't recruit the female into my group or get her involved in any way. I never introduced her to the group. I could have used her as a sap, but I didn't. If push came to shove, I would have used her to bolster my legend, but I didn't have to use her. I do remember her name, but I do not wish to disclose it at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Is that meant to be a reference to Lindsay?
I can only think that it is, sir, but I as I say, I can't say for sure. I'm sorry. I mean, again, some of the terminology I wouldn't have even used, but as I say, yeah.
Well, the truth was you had met Lindsay through your group because she was friends with them.
Yes, yes. However, I really did not realise her involvement in the political side for a while.
You are completely misleading the Hearn officers about the reality, aren't you?
I don't agree, sir. Again, this was another informal chat. I did not, we were talking.
I could have used her as a sap, but I didn't. We know full well that one of the benefits of your relationship with Lindsay is it did help to bolster your cover, didn't it?
Absolutely. And as I say, that term there, I just have never really used that word and wouldn't use it in that kind of context.
Can we go to the bottom of the page, please? I did not target the girl. She was just in the pub and we started chatting. I did not use her for my SDS role. She never contacted me after the relationship finished. I had a year left of my operation after that. That bears no relationship to any of the three women that you've told us you've deceived.
No.
Was that pure fabrication or was there another woman?
There was not another woman, but again, I'm a little bit confused as to why that was written like that. I can't remember what we spoke about on that, as I say, so...
It's a lie, isn't it, Mr. Soracchi?
Well, I would disagree that it was a lie, but I don't remember.
I did snog a lot of weary women. I had to use what was around me. Can you help us first of all that over and above Lindsay, Donna McLean and your current partner, did you snog women who you met in your undercover identity?
No, I did not.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, sir.
So can we take it that is a reference to Lindsay, Donna McLean and your current partner, or is it pure fiction?
Entirely. I would say there's a hint of fiction there, and again, the officers were making notes. I was talking. That does not, as I say, doesn't make any sense. But yes, a fiction, yes.
A hint of fiction or a complete fabrication?
Fiction. I did obviously snog, to use that word, weary women, again their words, but more than that I cannot say. As I say, they were taking the notes.
When you say weary, their words, weary women, Did you use the words weary women and then they wrote it down, or are you saying you didn't use those words?
Entirely possible, yes.
You would have used the words
Yes,
weary women because that was the parlance in the SDS, isn't it?
One of the nicknames for our target groups was wearies, yes.
The verb use. I had to use what was around me. What did you mean by that?
Again, sir, I cannot remember exactly. I would take that to mean that whatever I was coming into contact with, I had to try and use it to my advantage.
You were using women to your advantage.
Yes, I've said this already.
What was around me? Why are you referring to women as what was around me?
I can't say, sir. As I say, this was the conversation and the way you used to speak to each other at the time.
This is in full quotation marks. Can we take it that this phrase, these two sentences taken together, well illustrates your attitude to women?
Yes, I didn't put them in the speech marks, but yes.
Can we go to the next page, please? And at the top paragraph, first of all. There were wearies who wanted relationships with me. One was an activist from Liverpool called Lindsay. She studied at Goldsmith College. She wasn't mega active. I met her when I came back from the Bradford riots. I saw her a number of times. We were flirty with each other. We were friendly, but nothing happened. Start with a tiny detail. She didn't study at Goldsmith College, did she?
That was the impression I had, I'm afraid.
Let's move to the more important matter. We were friendly, but nothing happened. That is a barefaced lie, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it's incorrect. As I say, I don't recall what the conversation was with these officers, so yes.
A barefaced lie.
Yes, sir, I've said yes.
Next paragraph, please. Another female activist, Donna. She was, we've redacted the employment. I don't think she was a party member. She was the other girl who took a shine to me. Nothing happened. Another barefaced lie.
Again, yes, reading that, yes, sir.
Next paragraph, please. Again, in full quotation marks. Socialist Party, Hannah Sell. She had a thing for me, but I never went near it. These people flirt, they have partners, the morals of the wearies are not our morals. I went over the side, but I beat myself up about it every day. First of all, did Hannah Sell have a thing for you?
You would have to ask her, but as I say, we got on quite well.
You have told Operation Hearn officers that she did. Was that true or not?
I don't know. What I will say, sir, as well, we talk about the quotation marks, but this was a relaxed conversation with officers trying to gain a picture of what we did. As I say, I am very sorry for those comments, if that is what I said or intimated, but I cannot remember more than that.
Why did you say she had a thing for you if you don't know whether she had a thing for you?
Entirely. Would have been bigging myself up, sir.
But I never went near it.
I wouldn't have said that. This is my point. I wouldn't have said it like that. That's not the way I speak.
What does it refer to?
Well, her, which is more the term I would have used.
And we see in a bit more context the comment about the morals of the wearies are not our morals.
Absolutely.
This is in a sexual context, isn't it? And the context of infidelity.
I couldn't say, but again, we're talking about infidelity here, but yeah.
And in your case, more than infidelity, in misconducting yourself as a police officer.
Yes, I did get, as we know, an awful lot of things wrong, sir, yes.
Can we agree that their morals were considerably better than yours?
I don't know, sir. I just talked about what I had seen and what I'd been involved in, but yes, if
Can we take that down now, please, and can we go to tab B111, 738 103. This is another record of the same meeting, so I won't go over everything, but there are some points where there's a little bit more detail in this record that I want to take you to. First of all, on paragraph 3 of page 3, I lived with HN77 for about 6 months. My wearies thought I was shagging her, and I'm sure her wearies thought the same of me. Then, when I moved out, I said it was because it was getting too heavy. The truth was, you moved out from the flat with HN77 because you were moving in with Donna McLean, weren't you?
yes,
So would I be right to think that you did not say to those you were mixing with at the time that you were moving out of your flat with HN77 because your relationship with HN77 was getting too heavy? You would have told them that you were moving out because you were moving in with Donna McLean.
but I don't remember, sir. As I say, that's what's written there, but I don't remember. My mindset at that time was I was just being debriefed by another part of the police.
And there wouldn't have been much time for you to feign developing a relationship with HN77, would there? Because you had not long since broken Lindsay's heart.
No?
This is another lie to Hearn, isn't it?
As I say, these were informal conversations, so I don't know, sir.
It's another lie to Hearn, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Can we go to the 7th paragraph on this page, please? The one that begins Socialist Party. Thank you. Socialist Party, Hannah Sell. She had a thing for me, but I never went near it. These people flirt, they have partners. The morals of the wearies are not our morals. I went over the side, but I beat myself up about it every day. So far, the same as the last note. It goes a bit further. They wouldn't give a fuck about lying. Did you say that to the Hearn officers?
I don't remember, sir.
It would be a strange thing to write down if you hadn't, wouldn't it?
Of course, but again, I would suggest it could easily be a summary of what was said between us.
Did you care about lying to Operation Hearn?
Yeah, of course, yes, sir.
Why did you lie to Operation Hearn?
I don't know, sir.
Was
honest.
it to avoid disciplinary proceedings?
Well, no, because at this stage, sir, I was not aware that there was anything like that. We were talking about this and they were managing, or told me that they were managing stuff that had come out.
Did you think there might be disciplinary proceedings?
Yes.
And lying was a way to avoid them?
No. As I say, these were informal conversations we had, so I can't even say that everything that is there is exactly what I said.
Was it to avoid being held to account for your deplorable conduct?
I don't think so, no, because certainly by this stage, the reason they were talking to me was because there was documented instances where I had conversations with my managers, etc.
Your conduct had been deplorable, hadn't it?
Yes, sir, I've said that already this week.
You have. So I ask the question again. Did you lie to Hearn to avoid being held to account for your deplorable conduct?
I do not believe I did, no.
If it wasn't to avoid disciplinary proceedings, if it wasn't to avoid accountability, why did you lie to Hearn?
Well, as I said, this was an informal conversation. I cannot remember. And if I had said something that gave the wrong impression, yes, I lied. But I don't recall anything else. So.
Are you the sort of man who thinks it's okay to lie repeatedly simply because a conversation is informal?
I just didn't put a lot of importance on it.
That's not an answer to my question. Are you the sort of man who thinks it's okay to lie repeatedly simply because a conversation is informal?
I suppose yes would be the answer, looking at that time, yes.
You are in the process of telling these lies, denigrating those whose lives you had invaded in the process, aren't you?
Yes, I suppose.
Did you give any thought to that?
Obviously not at the time, sir, no.
Can we go to the next paragraph, please? There was also privacy, an activist since the 1960s. She was a legend activist in her mid-60s. I was in Hackney at the time, and she would invite me back for tea. I never went, but I heard from others she was up for it. What does up for it mean?
I would suggest sexual relations, intimate relationships.
Is there any truth in this, or is it just pure fabrication?
This, I think, would have been what I've called gossip, tittle-tattle with other members of my activist group.
Was it true then that there was some gossip to this effect, or is it pure fabrication?
No, there was gossip, I think, from what I can remember. Again, I don't want this to come the wrong way, but it wasn't that important to me. We were having an informal discussion and they were asking me about all these different things.
Why did you raise it with the Hearn officers?
I think I would have been asked about other associates, people I knew and whatnot, but I can't remember exactly.
Are you seeking to distract the Hearn officers from questioning you further about Lindsay, Donna McLean,
No.
and your current partner?
No, sir.
Are you trying to reinforce the false picture you were painting that you were resisting sexual interest expressed in you by members of the public whilst you were undercover?
No, sir. I don't think so.
Could we have the next paragraph, please? You're spinning plates. One of the scenarios given by the back office is if you ended up back at a female activist house, what do you do? The answer, you skip around it. Mm-hmm. Now that accords with the evidence you gave on Monday, and that is the truth, isn't it?
I think so, yes, sir.
And it contrasts starkly with your actual behaviour, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
It's right, isn't it, that the fact you're acknowledging here to Hearn that you do in fact know what you should have done, that you were clearly lying to them when you concealed the fact that you had transgressed that line repeatedly?
Yes.
Can we now go to the next paragraph? It's a section that runs over the page. It's about HN 67. A group of people were in the pub. Just let that. Thank you. A group of people were in the pub. It was a retirement or leaving do or something. I think it was for Ron Gilbertson. HN 67 wasn't there, but he came up in conversation with regards to True Spies, I think. Someone I can't remember who at this time said HN 67 was in a relationship with a Weary and he'd had a child. Being junior, I took this on board. This revelation was cause for some merriment and amusement. HN 67 was not very well liked. Can you help us with your recollection now? Did this conversation take place at an event for Ron Gilbertson either retiring or leaving?
It would have been, one of those, I think. But if not Mr. Gilbertson, someone else from the unit.
I want to know, is it your recollection that it was Sergeant Gilbertson?
As I've said in what they've written down, I think a lot of time has passed, so I cannot say for sure.
If it was a leaving do, would it have been the leaving do for Sergeant Gilbertson leaving the SDS?
I don't know, sir. It was a do, as I say. I referred to a retirement or leaving do.
Sergeant Gilbertson left the SDS in about July 2006, is our understanding. Was this revelation about HN 67 made in around the summer of 2006, or was it at some other time?
I would have to accept that it might have been around that time. I cannot remember.
And that would put it towards the end of your deployment?
Yes.
Who made the revelation about HN 67, being very careful about anonymity and writing it down?
I cannot recall, sir. I'm sorry.
Was it a current member of the SDS or a former member of the SDS?
I don't know, sir.
Do you have any recollection of who it was or who it might have been?
No, sir. There was a large group of us. As I said, I've referred to Mr. Gilbertson, but there could have been all manner of people there.
Quite a striking revelation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it really your evidence you can't remember who made it?
Yeah, completely. But again, I think it may be a little bit of a theme, but there was a lot of drink consumed in those times, and do's like this, there would have been lots of people there. So,
what was the merriment?
People were laughing. If it was just in relation to that, which I think it might have been reading through there, but it was a leaving do of some sort.
What was funny and amusing about the revelation that a former undercover police officer had fathered a child with an activist?
I cannot recall, sir. As I've said there was merriment and amusement. I think my comment there that he was not very well liked was the point that I had never got along with HN67.
Can you expand upon merriment and amusement for us? What form did it take?
People laughing, I would imagine.
Jokes? Banter?
I don't recall that. I recall that there was a mood of people laughing and chuckling, for want of a better word.
Why were people laughing about this?
I don't know, sir.
Was it in the context of conversations about sexually deceiving women in the course of SDS deployments?
I don't know, sir. I'm sorry.
Were there conversations about sexual activity undercover at SDS social gatherings?
We didn't do that many social gatherings, sir, but certainly at this one, this is something that I recalled, yes.
And was it, and what I'm driving at is, was this a one-off incident, or was it a subject that came up more than once?
I think it would have been a one-off, but I cannot say for sure, sir.
The reason I'm asking this question is because if it's a familiar topic of conversation, the atmosphere might be different to a one-off revelation.
I'm afraid I can't assist. This certainly was something that I remembered on a one-off occasion.
If it was a one-off, what would be so funny about it?
I don't know. It was funny at the time.
Funny that a woman had been deceived into sexual activity and having a child.
Yes.
And can I take it from your evidence that it was generally received amongst those present as funny?
There was laughter. It was not just this that was being spoken about, but it was quite a while ago, sir, and I can't really help more than that, I'm afraid.
Can we take it as representative of at least the attitude of the SDS's rank and file to sexual activity with members of the public undercover, that it was thought to be funny?
Yes.
Managers?
I can't remember who was there, sir.
Any of them?
Sorry?
Any of them?
In terms of this social content?
Would any of them have thought it funny?
Again, I can't remember who was there. Yes, possibly.
Being junior, I took this on board. What did you mean by I took this on board?
Don't think I'd have used that term. I think what I was trying to say was that I was listening to this and heard this.
Being junior, if this was Sergeant Gilbertson's leaving do, you were not junior in SDS terms, were you? You were just approaching the end of your deployment.
I think, sir, what I may have been saying there was that I was not a ranking officer.
You were a detective constable.
Yes, sir.
Can you help us any further with what taking it on board as a detective constable towards the end of your deployment meant?
As I say, sir, I don't think I would have used that term. I think it was just stuff I was listening to, which, I don't know, which I thought worthy of noting or telling the team in the discussion.
Could we take that down now and have, from Volume 1, Tab A2, 723091, please? This is a document which dates from the 22nd of September 2016. It relates to disciplinary proceedings,
Yeah.
which by that stage had been initiated. It's a statement made under caution, isn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
And it says, on the 4th of February 2016, I was served with a notice under Regulation 15, Police Conduct Regulations 2015, informing me that I was subject to an investigation into allegations made that my conduct may have breached the standards of professional behaviour. The notice says the allegations are that whilst engaged in a covert role, I had intimate relationships with 3 females and that these took place without the knowledge of my line managers. If we go now to further down, we see that you say, I deny the allegations. And it goes on to say, on the 14th of September, I was shown by my solicitor a document entitled Operation Hearn Written Questions for Operation Colton and a document headed Disclosure Schedule Operation Colton 2. I understand these documents were provided to my solicitor by DC, and we've anonymised the officer's name, of Operation Hearn as disclosure to enable me to consider whether or not to provide a written response. I have been made aware that none of the females have provided statements to the investigation and that these allegations are based on a media report and a Newsnight television programme. Other than denying the allegations, I do not intend to answer any questions regarding the matter at this time. If we could go back up to the paragraph above the present pane. You are positively denying that you had intimate relationships with 3 females and that they took place without the knowledge of your line managers, aren't you?
Yes.
You did have 3 intimate relationships with 3 females in your covert role, didn't you?
Yes.
And on the evidence you have given to this inquiry, your relationship with Lindsay started without any of your managers knowing, didn't it?
Yes. Yes.
And your evidence is that you didn't tell any managers until you told DCI Dell long after the relationship had finished.
Yes. However, there were conversations in the interim with my line supervisors, but I did not reveal any names or anything like that.
Can we be clear? Did you tell any manager during the course of your sexual relationship with Lindsay that you were in a sexual relationship with a woman undercover?
No, sir. No.
Donna McLean, you've told us that you started that relationship without telling any managers, and
Yes, sir.
you told Dell that you'd had a relationship. You told him it had finished, but in fact it had not.
I can't remember, sir. As I say, if you want to talk about the timelines, but we did have a conversation, yes.
And you were some distance into your relationship with your current partner before you raised it with managers on your account.
Yes, sir.
There were, therefore, no grounds to justify you positively denying these allegations, was there?
No, sir. I think this would have been, my federation or legal advice at the time, but no.
It's a false denial, isn't it?
Yes. However, as I say, I would have done this on advice because I think we were going to obviously make statements further down, but yes.
Did you enter this false denial because you knew that the MPS were not in a position to prove the allegations at that time?
I don't remember, sir. I don't think so. I would have been listening to advice.
If it wasn't for that reason, why did you enter a false denial?
I can't say. As I say, I think I would have acted on advice, and it would have been taken from there.
The consequence of the lies that you told Operation Hearn, combined with your positive false denial of the truth in the disciplinary process, was that you escaped being disciplined, didn't you?
Well, no, I don't think so. I think I'm still subject to some kind of investigation, sir.
You escaped being disciplined back in 2016, didn't you, because you lied your way out of it?
Oh, no, sir, I disagree with that. As I say, I had informal conversations which I had no idea were then going to be written up. And as I say, this document that we're talking about now, I would have signed this because I think I would have got advice from Federation or some other form of representation.
You knew full well what you were signing, didn't you?
Well, yes,
And you knew it was false, didn't you?
Well, again, sir, my interpretation of it, and having read bits of it, was that this was the start of a process that would be ongoing. I think I'm borne out by that.
Well, let me come to that. The consequence of you lying your way out of trouble in 2013, 2014 and 2016 was it has led to a delay in Lindsay and Donna McLean getting the answers that they deserve.
Yeah.
A delay of 9.5 years to date.
Yes.
And the 9.5 years since this denial, waiting for this inquiry to take its course, can't have been much fun for you either.
No, sir.
It's been hanging over your head for
absolutely.
9.5 years.
Yes, indeed, yes.
What would it have taken for you to have made a clean breast of things in a timely fashion?
I don't know, sir. I got, obviously, this process started, and I've just acted under advice from my federation at those times. So I don't know, sir.
Can I take it from I don't know, sir, that there's nothing that could have been done that would have persuaded you truthfully to answer questions?
Much of the advice I received, sir, was obviously to wait for this public inquiry. Obviously, I would have liked this to have happened a lot sooner, but as I say, more than that, I cannot really offer.
Would have been far, far better if you'd told the truth.
Well, I, as I say, acted under advice. I was engaging, but as far as I was aware, these were informal conversations and we were just talking things through.
My learned friends can object to this question if they wish, but is it your evidence that your legal advisors told you to lie?
No, sir, of course not, no.
Sir, that was the last question that I wish to answer in open before we move to the private hearing. Might it be a convenient time to take the break during which time the preparations can be made for the private hearing?
Certainly. We'll rise for 15 minutes.
So thank you for the extra time. Mr. Soracchi, you gave some evidence about talking to the psychiatrist, Dr. Palmer.
Yeah.
Was it your understanding that there were circumstances in which Dr. Palmer might speak to your managers about what you had told him, or did you understand the meeting with Dr. Palmer to be entirely confidential?
I don't recall that, sir. I think I may have assumed that he would anyway. These were sort of informal appointments that we would have.
Did he say anything about patient confidentiality?
No. Sorry to sort of butt in front of you. Certainly after my mother died, I think he did say something then, because I had to attend an additional appointment with him for him to decide if I was okay or not. And I think that was requested by the back office.
And presumably your understanding was the answer to that question was going to be relayed to the office?
Yes, to that one, yes. But the other ones, I don't recall that, no.
You gave some evidence about CWI
Yes.
contacts, and you said at one point you could write down the names of 2 CWI contacts that had been involved in liaison with the Socialist Party and your role in that. Could you write those names down, please?
Do you mean foreign ones or people within the party that were CWI?
People who your evidence was were instrumental in sending you to Italy, so I'm assuming those on this side of the channel.
Ah, right. So it would have been... I haven't got another pen, have we? Sorry. My apologies, that one's just totally packed up. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. I have got a pen. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Out of an abundance of caution, I won't utter those names just yet. Can I move now to the question of some of the signatures we've got on the notes of interviews that I took you to this morning?
Yep.
Can we go first of all to 721992? You'll see this is the typed interview notes from 2013 with Hearn. If we go to page 13, that 2013 document has been signed by you, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at plain text here, sir, but I can't see the signature under it, I'm afraid.
As far as you can recall, did you sign this document?
Possibly. I can't say more than that, sir. Looking at the date, I would say that is my handwriting, so...
Take that down, please. Could we have up 726495? If we just see what it is, this is the 2014 record. Could we go to page 3, please? We've seen underneath this signature block, and we understand the signatures under this block to be those of your solicitor, Mr. Ingram,
Yeah.
and someone, not you,
No.
someone who is witnessing Mr. Ingram's signature.
Yes.
Is it right you did not sign this document?
If this is the one that I was shown just previously. I did not recognise any of the signatures on there, no.
Thank you. Can we take that down now, please? Back to the question of racism. The publication of the Stephen Lawrence inquiry report with its finding of institutional racism against the Metropolitan Police Service was a seismic event, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Presumably the subject of conversation within your circles within the police.
Absolutely, yes.
And what was the reaction to those findings?
I think it was mixed. There were people that very, very much believed that things had to change. There were others that would have voiced their dissatisfaction or disagreement with it. These were their opinions.
Where did you sit in that debate?
Things had to change, sir.
Why did things have to change?
Well, because there was always, we're talking, a long time back, really, aren't we? There were different attitudes then. People spoke differently then. Even if you felt you were not racist or had prejudiced beliefs, there were still conversations that would take place where, it would come out or it would look like that was the way. I grew up as, child of Italian immigrants. I used to get it all the time. But back then I would, and I still do, but that is just me personally, because of my age, that I would look at the person and sort of laugh or just sort of tell them where to go, for example, without swearing. They were different times.
So was your position about the response to the Stephen Lawrence inquiry that things had to change because there had been racism in the police?
Because everything I had read about it and heard about it, and I did not read the report, but was that the police, for lots of different reasons, amongst which corruption was a part of that, had completely mucked up. But I just attended the various sort of educational meetings that we had to attend. And as I say, I never ever believed myself to be racist. And so I was like, well, I don't do anything wrong. I don't treat people differently because of their appearance.
That doesn't quite answer my question.
Sorry.
You've told us where you were in the scale of responses. You were on the side of believing change was necessary because of the way things had been.
Yes.
It follows, doesn't it, from that answer that there were problems with racism within the Met?
Oh, absolutely, as there were inside of the whole of society.
So your evidence to me yesterday that you didn't see any racism in the Met, on reflection, was that understating the position?
It was, yes, a mistake on my part as well, sir, because I thought I was talking about the unit. Yes, of course, when I was a uniformed police officer, I definitely came across officers that I didn't like because of what their point of view was. I apologise.
On race?
On a whole raft of things, but yes, prejudices, definitely.
Moving to Mr. Gilman, you gave some evidence about hearing that Mr. Gilman had slapped a leafleteer at Slade Green.
Yeah.
We do see some reference to the Slade Green incident in the documents, but there is nothing specific to say that Mr. Gilman had slapped anybody. Mm-hmm. Mr. Gilman denies slapping anybody at Slade Green. Can I take it from the fact that you weren't there, that you're in no position to say whether or not he actually did?
Yeah, I'm afraid so, sir, yes.
Genoa, you gave some evidence that Mr. Frank Smith had thrown something that you could not identify at the Italian police in Genoa. Is it right that Mr. Smith was the chief steward at the protest in Genoa?
Oh, I don't know, sir. I'm sorry.
Did he have a stewarding role?
I don't know. As I say, on the occasion that I saw him, it was at the height of what was quite unpleasant public disorder, engaging with the police. And I think, you know, there were all manner of things happening, but I don't know. I certainly was there with a number of full-timers, as I call them, from the Socialist Party. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Was he wearing a steward's bib?
No, not when I saw him. It was a T-shirt, which there was a lot of tear gas doing the rounds that day, and he had it up. It was not masking up per se. It was to sort of, I think, try and fend off tear gas. I can't remember what he had on underneath that, if anything.
You say you were with the Socialist Party contingent.
Yes.
Were you with, as well as the Socialist Party contingent, some Greek activists?
From the same political background.
We are being told that Mr. Frank Smith denies ever throwing anything towards the Italian police or using any form of violence towards them. Might you be mistaken in your identification of Mr. Smith as someone who threw things at the Italian police?
So I could only recount what I saw. It was a very stressful time. That is what I saw.
Is it right that Mr. Frank Smith and others arranged a surprise birthday party for you at Tyab's restaurant in East London?
Entirely possible, yes.
How well did you know Frank Smith?
I got to know him quite well over the years.
How frequently did you see him?
When we would be attending planning meetings for the no platform work, we did not go to the same branch, but he would occasionally turn up, and obviously socials together.
You came to his flat to change his locks.
I don't remember that. I thought that was someone else.
Did you go to his home at any other time?
I think we might have gone there for a meeting on a couple of occasions.
Is it right that Mr. Smith never went to your flat?
I can't remember, sir, sorry.
You said in one of your reports relating to his compensation payment that he was suggested he was leading a luxurious lifestyle. The reality was he was blacklisted and had very little money. Is that right?
I knew nothing about that, sir. He was a builder, as far as I knew.
Frank Smith denies your portrayal of him as a violent man. Is it right that the truth is he wasn't a violent man?
He's totally entitled to put that point of view across. I was merely reporting on one thing that I saw.
Bradford,
Yes.
July 2001. You said that Mr. Frank Smith and Mario were both there. I'd like you to think about that. We know that Mario went to prison at some point.
Yep.
Is it right that Mario was in prison in July 2001?
Could well have been. A group of us went up from London, and it was a mix of Socialist Party people with some anarchists.
You will recall that I asked you yesterday if you could help us with what the acronym RBF stands for.
Yep.
We've had two suggestions. One is that it is registry branch file, and the other report brought forward. Do either of those ring any bells?
Registry branch file would make more sense to me, sir, because we used to refer to files, etc.
But whatever that acronym means, the context wasn't it, because of a perceived threat to you, as reported, they were going to be the subject of increased scrutiny by the Met?
I'm sorry, sir, I don't know.
Back to the question of locks. Is it right that you changed the locks of Mr. Frank Smith, Dan Gilman, Steve Headley and Joe Batty?
The only one I can remember is some friends of Mr. Gilman who lived in Hackney. I do not recall changing locks for anybody else.
Were there pink files kept by Special Branch? Were they particularly secret?
The name for the pink file, or the nickname, was the Secret Pink. Yes.
And can you help us where in the hierarchy they sat? Would an ordinary file on an individual in the IMOS registry be pink, or was a secret pink file an elevated classification?
No, there were an awful lot of pinks up in the registry. So yes, it generally would cover lots of different things. They're the only sort of ones I can really remember, to be honest.
Back to your Hearn transcripts of interview. If we can have 738088 up, please. This is back to the 2013 interview. Page 28, please. Near the top, there's reference to the visitor's book. There was a visitor's book. I wasn't there for the commissioner's visit, but very interested in Mr. Condon's comments. Can you help us with what Mr. Condon's comments were?
No, sir, I'm very sorry. As I say, it was still, I think, being signed even when I was there, but we didn't get, during my time, a visit from the commissioner. I think I had a quick flick through it, but I can't remember the comments, sir. I'm sorry.
Even if it wasn't in your time, I don't mind. All I'm interested in is whether you can remember what the comment was.
I'm sorry, sir. No.
Can we take that down now, please? You gave some evidence that you and your now ex-wife had socialised with some of your SDS colleagues.
Yes.
Could you write down the names of the officers with whom you and your now ex-wife socialised?
It's quite short, sir, because it just was the one per... no, my apologies. If I put a question mark next to one, so it's because I can't remember if she ever met them, but it would have been people I was close to at the time. Is that okay?
Yes.
Or would you rather I just left them off?
Thank you. I think I'm right in saying that I can't utter any of those names or even nominals.
Yep.
Can I move now to true spies? Who said that the True Spies programme was positive for the SDS? And be careful about anonymity, please.
So it would have been one of our either detective inspector or DCI, could have been both of them that said it. But I recall, obviously, there was some sort of get-together at one of the offices where it was discussed, and that was that view was advanced.
Can you recall hearing anything about how that programme had come about?
No, sir.
Can you recall whether anything was being said about the role of Commander Pearce in that programme coming about?
Not personally, sir. The first I heard about it was at this sit-down meeting where we were told that a programme was coming out that related to the unit.
Move on to the evidence you gave today about HN 67.
Yes, sir.
And the event at which the disclosure was made that he might have fathered a child. Was Bob Lambert present?
No.
Was Roger Pearce there?
I don't believe so, no. I recall it as it was people from the unit and maybe some others outside who I didn't recognise, who might have been former field officers, but I do not recall those two individuals.
Why was HN 67 not liked?
That was a personal thing for me. I just, as I say, he was never one of my supervising officers, but the dealings I had with him when I'd been assisting on other units, he'd just come across to me as a little bit coarse and difficult and looked down his nose at me. I don't know if it was just me or other people, but that was how I felt.
When you say you don't know whether it was just you or other people, are we to understand your comment to Hearn to have been restricted to your personal view, or was there a general feeling that HN 67 was not liked?
I think it was a personal view, but as I say, there might have been other people in the group that might have had similar issues, but I think for me, I just dropped that comment when I was chatting to them, because I was not a fan of his. I think that's why I sort of recall that discussion, because I was not a fan of him at that time. Or, haven't seen him since, but...
The names you wrote down at the start of this final session of questioning, the CWI contacts in this country, Claire Doyle, Peter Taff.
So,
I can, for the record. Mr. Soracchi, those are my questions.
Any re-examination? No. That concludes the evidence that you've given to the inquiry. I cannot think of any reason why you should be recalled to give evidence, but it remains a faint possibility. You will not learn about my conclusions until next year. There are a lot of processes that have to be gone through before you'll be told about them.
I understand that. Thank you, sir.
We will now adjourn and resume on Monday at 10 a.m.